Welcome back to The Score. Malapit na naman magtapos ang elimination round ng men's and women's volleyball competition sa UAAP Season 79. Kaya naman, doble kayod ngayon ang mga koponan para makapasok sa Final Four. Now, for more on the semis race sa UAAP Volleyball, kasama natin mga analysts, sina AJ Pareja at Coach Ronnie Magsanoc. Good evening, guys. Welcome to The Score. Thanks for joining us. Okay, let's start with the men's volleyball first. Just the other night, we had the Ateneo team here.
Coach Oliver.
On a great run. 20, nagulat nga sila, binilang ka, Coach, 24 straight na kayo. Hindi nila na-realize they're on that kind of a streak. But they're dominating, obviously. Pero behind them, alam ko, NU naghahabol doon. Pero ano yung Final Four race na nakikita natin, AJ, para dun sa men's volleyball?
Well, for me, I can consider UP as gunning for the third spot. Yung fourth, tricky pa kasi LaSalle and UST have the same standing. But
FEU pa.
Yeah, FEU din actually. So actually, parang sa women's din, yung gitna yung naglalabanan. Yeah, for LaSalle, we're still waiting if Mark Wu can still recover from his injury.
Sabi nila babalik.
Kung kaya makahabol pa, then it's gonna be a big help for them. But sa ngayon, ang mukhang kayang mag-qualify talaga is FEU and UP.
Alright. Coach Ronnie, para sa'yo, do you share the same sentiments? Or beyond that, is it really going to be another Ateneo NU battle in the final?
It looks to be that way. But if there's a team that can pull off a surprise, para sa akin, could be UST.
Okay. UST. Alright. Now, let's shift our attention to the women's game. Lalo na kahapon, nagulantang na naman ang mundo because NU did it again. They pulled the rug under the feet of Ateneo, and since they did it twice, maybe they can say, wag nyo nang sabihin upset with the way they did it. Coach Ronnie, ikaw, first reaction mo when you saw that game, that dramatic five-setter between the two?
For whatever reason, NU seems to have Ateneo's number. I thought that NU was already shaky heading into that game. Maski galing sa panalo. Pero hirap na hirap yung Ateneo sa kanila eh. Pati nung dulo, akala ko mananalo yung Ateneo dahil ang galing nila sa five-setters eh. But in the end, maski na alog-alog yung reception ng NU, somehow they won the biggest points, the tight points. At hindi mo na pwedeng sabihin tsamba eh. Baka kontrapelo kung sakasakali.
Yun. Para sa'yo, AJ, what can you see from NU na napakita nila muli how they beat Ateneo yesterday?
Well, I was able to cover yung NU-UE where they won against UE, pero yun
shaky,
yung
diba?
game na talagang nilabas yung libero. Kasi hindi na-impress si Coach Roger sa performance. But they were able to pull off. Siguro blessing in disguise din yan sa NU kasi as how I can see it, I'm not discrediting the liberos, but they can afford to really play without libero because si Risa Sato can play defense sa likod and Jaja, revelation yung kanyang back row attack. Kasi ginagawa naman niya yun sa off-season, but it's something new sa second round na ginagawa ng NU which can be their parang edge over the other teams kasi iba yung back row, yung lakas ng back row ni Jaja. What they can just polish on is yung position nila sa passing tsaka sa transition defense. Kasi paminsan si Jaja, doon siya sa zone 6, paminsan sa zone 1, kaya nagkakagulo sila, hindi nila alam kung sino yung kukuha ng bola.
Alright, now let's break them down one by one. Gaya na nasabi mo kanina, AJ, lahat sila, 6 sa kanila contenders sa Final Four. Dalawa medyo, we can say,
pasok
assured
na yan.
Pasok ng Ateneo at sa LaSalle. So you've got FEU, UP, UST, and NU. Talagang nagkadikit-dikit, 1 or 2 games apart lang sila.
Yes.
And going down the wire to the stretch. Okay, FEU at 5-5. They have an interesting schedule left, Coach Ronnie. They're playing the other 3 teams na kalaban nila for the Final Four is UP, USC, and U. Pero meron din silang UE. So that could give them arguably a bonus, an easier time to get another win. Para sa anong chances ng FEU to get their spot in the Final Four? Which you said, magical number for you? 8? 8? Okay.
I feel yung kanilang Final Four experience last year will impact how they will perform in the remaining games of the second round.
Okay.
I think yun ang edge nila kumpara dun sa teams na hindi naman nakapasok last year sa semifinals but are also in the running for the Final Four. And I think that they still have a good fighting chance of making it to the Final Four outright.
Alright. UP naman, it's been one of the head scratchers this season. He had a atmospheric rise.
4 straight wins.
Grabe. And then all those losses in a row. Now they're at 6-5. And their last 3 games, yung mga kalaban nila sa Final Four race, NU, USC, FEU. How do they put things together para sa AJ? Paano naman mahanap ulit yung consistency na yun and that confidence they had in the first 4 games in the first round?
Well, what's surprising with UP is, based on their team performances, hindi sila laging behind sa reception, sa defense, sa setting. parang okay sila doon sa mga standing na yun. What's more notable is yung blocking nila. Talagang ang baba ng standing ng
Nag-deep,
UP
no?
sa blocking. Considering na they have Cathy Bersolo, who used to be a best blocker din sa team. So if they're up against other teams like UST, NU na malakas ang firepower, talagang kailangan bumalik yung blocking ng UP if they want to keep their Final Four dreams alive.
Okay. Coach Ronnie, para sa'yo, aside from the blocking, is there anything mental that they can really fix coming into these last few games? Kasi iba na to mahirap ng kalaban, malakas sila, but when you're coming into the last few games of the elimination round where it's playoff atmosphere niya kasi nag-aabot ka ng Final Four spot, how do they step up mentally for them?
Well, I feel that they're supposed to be very ready for this year given the breakthrough performance that they had last year, able to cross over to the Final Four. Lagi namang may peaks and valleys all throughout the season. Pero ang question ngayon, kaya ba nung toughness ng frame of mind nila to overcome? There will be no more easy games left.
Wala na.
Ang rotation ni Coach Jerry, nag-iba na rin. Although nakabalik na si Cat Bersolo sa rotation, without Geyser anymore as a libero, it will be left to the veterans, I think, to really push the super sophomores to perform better because that's the only way.
Correct.
That's the only way because veterano yung mga kalaban
Correct. Well, speaking of veterans, you've got a pair of them with UST. 6-4, they have a half-game lead lang sa UP. Pero sila din, napaka-tindi ng schedule na natitira. I think probably amongst all these contenders, sila yung pinakamahirap, no? NU, UP, FU, and may Lasal pa sila. Talk about the chances of UST para sa AJ.
Well, UST, with regards to their upcoming game against FEU, lamang sila in terms of defense. They're the number 1 digging team. Tapos, FEU is lagging behind in terms of scoring and attacking. So, if they can prop up all the balls ng FEU attack, tapos kaya kasi nila mag-counter offense with Rondina and Laure, then they can probably notch a win for that. But, yun nga, yung mga susunod na games, talagang kailangan nila mag-rely dun sa kanilang, not only with their digging, but they can probably be more aggressive sa serving para ma-disrupt na yung atake ng kalaban and they can set up their block, which they are lagging actually sa blocking.
So their next game is against FU.
Yeah.
How big is that, Coach Ron, you think? I mean, they have 4 games left. They don't necessarily have to get all those 4. Kahit siguro dalawa lang, pwede na. No? But how big is that to get the first win out of the way if they can get against FU?
You want to be closer to win number 7. At least may tie yun Feeling ko 7 will get you into a tie for a playoff spot. Right now, FU only has 5. Pero may UE sila. Kung bibilangin mo yun, that will be 6 plus that game. It's either you sink or swim by this weekend Although halfway pa lang tayo sa second round. Sila talaga yung nagkakalaban
Parang ang maganda na script no? Na yung ending sila.
Pero we said this before or during the opening day na the parity will be really very evident given the roster power ng mga teams saka how they performed in the V-League last year. Makikita mo naman
Tsaka yung UST, slow start sila pero yung
May
momentum
arangkada,
nila hanggang ngayon na maintain pa nila
Correct. Now, we talked a bit about NU earlier because we're reacting to their big win again against Ateneo. They have 3 more games to go. They're 7-4, probably one more, as Coach Ronnie would say. He's the magic number of 8. They're going up against USC, FE, UP. May momentum boost na kaya sila nakuha. Do you think that helped them? Weird nga, they came off a shaky win against UE where Coach Roger had his choice words to talk about how he was unhappy with them. And then, biglang this big win against Ateneo. Do you think that's a kind of win that can flip a switch and say, okay, playoff mode na tayo, kayang-kaya natin tong mga contenders natin sa Final Four against UST, FEU, and UP?
Well, NU's win over Ateneo, talagang actually they slightly edged out yung other nilang kalaban for the Final Four spots. Kasi so far, dun sa 4 na yun, sila pa lang yung nakapanalo over Ateneo. And yun nga, as I was saying, revelation yung for this second round, yung back row attack ni Jaja. So, I don't know if tinatago nila yun during the first round or talagang just because they had to adjust to a not so good situation na nag-falter yung kanilang floor defense kaya napilitan si Jaja mag-back row attack. But it's definitely gonna be a challenge to the other teams, lalo na sa FU and UST UP na yung blocking nila kailangan nila i-fortify. Ngayon, Jaja is a threat not only up front but also at the back row.
Alright, Coach Ronnie, after Ateneo lost yesterday, now they're only a game ahead of Lasal. 9-2 Ateneo, 8-2 Lasal. Pero Lasal has an interesting schedule.
Pati Ateneo.
Oo, may halong magaang.
Sila ang pinakamagagaang ng mga schedule sa natitira
So, unahan natin si Lasal. Meron pa silang UE, UST, Adamson, and then Ateneo.
Tama.
Will it matter between these two? Would they care who's number one? Is it a psychological thing? Because we don't know who's going to be number 3, number 4 anyways, di ba? You can't say 3 will be much better than 4, unlike in other circumstances in other seasons. Para sa'yo, malaking bagay sa kanila or coming into the Final Four, gusto mo may mental edge ka, number 1?
It's always nice to head into the Final Four coming off a win.
Yeah.
And they'll be playing the final game of the second round. At does it matter being the top team? Depende sa matchup.
Okay.
Kung mapapabuti ka, habulin mo talaga.
Correct.
Kung hindi ka mapapabuti, discarded rin ni coach. Yeah, pero it's all a matter of school pride dito sa dalawang teams na to. Ayaw lang nila matalo sa isa't isa, period, ganun kasi.
And it's gonna be the last game.
Totoo yan.
Kahit ano maging seeding mo, 1 or 2 ka papasok doon, you wanna have a win to end the last elimination.
Yun ang punto ron.
Alright. So, Ateneo losing again against NU. What can they learn from these 2 losses against NU? Or sabi ka ni Coach Ronnie, kontra pelo. It's not that, is it necessarily that they played bad? Or it's just a matchup problem talaga against these NU girls?
Well, it's something that's been haunting them since the whole tournament. Yung kanilang reception talaga.
Okay.
Kasi we all know na how capable Gia in orchestrating their offensive play. Pero yun nga, from the first ball pa lang, may disconnect na.
Yeah.
Doon talaga nahihirapan yung Ateneo eh. Ang magiging mental challenge sa kanila with regards to getting the number 1 spot or second spot is kung saan mapaplace din si NU eh. Kasi kung mag number 2 ang Ateneo, number 3
Yun ang
NU.
sinasabi natin kanina.
So far, hindi pa nila na-answer yung riddle of NU.
Correct, yep.
So, yun yung magiging mental challenge if they want to exact their vengeance on NU or avoid NU muna and eventually makita sila sa finals.
Pero may pinanggalingan yan, Teach. Dahil ang tinalo ng NU sa V-League Championship last year sa Collegiate Conference, Ateneo. So probably it's at the back of their minds na kaya nila. So ewan ko kung bakit sa ibang teams shaky sila, pero pag sa Ateneo, ang saya-saya nila kahapon eh. Maski na nung down sila ng 2-1, iba yung galaw nila kahapon. Kaya nawala yung simangot ni Coach Roger. Di ba? Saka kalmadong-kalmado si Coach Roger kahapon dun sa laban nila.
Well, when we come into the Final Four, may twice to beat. So, fine, matchup is that.
Yeah.
That is the matchup. Let's say Ateneo against NU, they've never beaten them this season. Pero yung twice to beat, gano'ng kalaking bagay mentally for them. Although we've seen even thrice to beat erase in volleyball many times over.
Yeah.
Pero will that still help them kahit paano to have that bit of a mental edge against them?
Well, as an athlete, I can really relate to yung value of having a twice to beat advantage eh. Kasi it gives you more chances kung if you're trying to implement something new dun sa system ng team mo na you think can be a good strategy against the team you're up against. And if it doesn't work, then at least you still have one more game to revert to your original strategy. So,
Coach Ronnie, para sa'yo, to wrap this up, do we see a potential upset? Do any of these teams who make it to the Final Four, can they have a chance of upsetting either Ateneo or La Salle and break into the finals?
Yes.
Meron.
Yes. With the way things are going, who knows what can happen? Someone may go down with an injury. I think yes. The answer is a yes. Kasi yung ibang teams right now, I think meron pang pangalawang sipa eh. Yung finishing kick. And probably they gather some momentum with important wins down the road before the second round is done.
Things could dramatically change
Yes.
with the kind of wins they can get
Yes.
from the contending teams in the Final Four. All right. Well, they promised it parity, better parity this season, unpredictable competition. At ito na nga, nakukuha na natin and we'll all be enjoying the show.
Of course.
During the last couple of weeks. All right, AJ, Coach Ronnie, maraming salamat.
Thanks,
See you again
Steve.
soon. Thank you.
Hi guys, keep watching The Score for the latest sports updates and don't forget to subscribe to the ABS-CBN Sports in Action YouTube channel.